This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome everyone to our 2022 Sgp Impact Tracker Update program. So today the program is brought to you by myself, Marcy Kinter. I'm the chair of the Sgp Technical Committee, and I'm also the Vice President of Government and Regulatory Affairs for Printing United Alliance. Today we have Katrina Saucier with us from Green to Sustainable. Green to Sustainable is our organization that manages our tracker. So many of you who are certified facilities or applicants have talked to somebody within Green to Sustainable as they've helped to onboard as well as keep you updated on the changes to the impact tracker. And I will say that, and Katrina, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think the tracker did turn over on Friday. So hopefully everyone's had a chance to take a look at some of the changes that occurred.
Correct, Marcy.
Okay, great. So next slide, please. So welcome everyone, and we encourage you to ask questions and to engage with us. We have worked, the technical committee has been working hard to provide you with resources to meet your certification requirements, as well as provide you with the information as to what was going to happen when the tracker turned over. So on behalf of the Sgp Partnership and Green to Sustainable, we welcome you to our webinar program today. Next slide, please. So our goal today is relatively simple and straightforward. One is we're going to take a look at what is required within the Sgp Impact Tracker and what information is now being requested. As we like to say, Sgp is an audit program, so you do need to make sure that you do have your documentation in order. And as we talked about in the certification criteria webinar 3 weeks ago, the tracker is your primary source and repository for documentation for your audits. And we're also going to take a look at, and Katrina's going to walk through the updates to the impact tracker that reflect the version 4 criteria elements. Next slide, please. So welcome to the Sgp Impact Tracker and the Certification Tracker program. And Katrina, I'll have you take it from here.
Great, Marcy. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you so much for joining this discussion. We're really excited to show you some of the changes, updates, and improvements that we've made to the impact tracker. And I really just think this support highlights how Sgp is really pushing the boundary when it comes to supporting their certified facilities and helping them, guiding them along the way towards certification, rather than having you just figure it out from a very long criteria manual. They've really built something, I think, special and unique here that really serves as a guide to track you through the documentation process, but really reinforce what your team is doing and help you get to that certification status, as well as maintain it. So I have some simple updates here, some simple reminders just about using a web application in general, as well as logging into the application. One key thing that I would strongly encourage everybody to do on a regular basis is to clear your cache and cookies. These cookies, unfortunately, do not come with milk. They're cookies in your web browser. And this is code that your browser has stored to try and speed up things as you navigate through a web application. And since we've changed that code, sometimes it can get lost in what to do and how to function. So I have a quick shortcut key here for anybody using a PC. As you launch your browser, you just press Control-Shift-Delete, and that will automatically clear your browser. You can also choose different options, like an advanced option. Just make sure to unclick any saved passwords. You'll want to keep those, but in the meanwhile, it will clear all of the information it's stored to navigate through the system. And so if you're having any issues in the impact tracker, that's the #1 thing I would encourage you to do. Unfortunately for Macs, it's a little trickier to clear your browser in the different functions in Chrome and Firefox and even Safari. But in general, you just look for the history and then say clear history, and that will clear it out. Also, you can log in from the Impact Tracker right from the Sgp Partnership Page. And please continue to let us know if any users are changing in the Impact Tracker in terms of inviting new people as well as removing people who no longer work on the project, just so we can keep that access secure as well as available to everybody on your team who you would like to engage in this process. Also, we have a video. Some of these links I kept here for when we PDF the presentation and save it for everybody to access afterwards, that you can easily access it. And then also, I just want to provide a simple reminder that the Impact Tracker automatically calculates your greenhouse gas emissions, your scope 1, 2, and 3. I know reporting season is coming up. I know a lot of you will be receiving requests from your customers who care about their supply chain and who want to understand particularly their scope 3 emissions. So as their supplier, you are now part of their scope 3 emissions, and they'll ask you for your scope 1 and 2 emissions. If you have any questions about that, please contact me. I'm happy to help. But you can also rely on the Impact Tracker. You can log right in there and access that information. Also, that if people are interested in potentially discussing that sort of information in a future webinar, chat it to Marcy and let her know, because that's something we can provide some learning on. So without further ado, let's dive into all of these updates and changes. So this list, I'm not going to go through it in detail right now, but it's just, again, a general outline of the changes we made to align with the Sgp V4 criteria. Again, this list really is just to serve to summarize the updates, because what I'm going to do now is actually log right into the Impact Tracker. I know we have some new facilities to the program, as well as some longtime veterans. So some of this may be a little repetitive for you, but there will be lots to learn either way. So now I'm just going to switch my screen so we can hop right into the Impact Tracker. All right, so now you should be seeing the Sgp Partnership Page. And I wanted to show this because this is a new-ish feature where we've added the tracker login button here. So you can actually log right in. This is the Sgp login page. If you save your password and login information, it makes it very easy to log in. Welcome to your data display of your Impact Tracker. Quick and simple reminder, this is actually where you can access your GHGs to see those totals, that one thing I was mentioning here. And now let's jump right into the certification tracker. So for those of you who have more than one facility, this navigation may look familiar to you. For those of you who don't, your facility is the one that automatically pops up. So now I'm just navigating to the specific facility that I would like to access for the Sgp Impact Tracker. And a friendly reminder to chat your questions. So here we have our Sgp certification button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And welcome to the tracker. One thing I do want to mention that will be coming soon is a Sgp Milestones tab. So right now, the technical committee is working on a visually engaging timeline that really just helps your team organize itself around the steps towards maintaining your Sgp certification. So it's a really great way for your team to just keep on top of how the process should move forward, as well as review how you currently do things, especially for those who have been doing it for a while. So in terms of the certification status page, there's really only been 2 updates. If you're a new facility, you'll see an interesting infographic here to help you through your initial certification. And for those who have already been certified, you will see a handy-dandy link here that is for the Sgp certified logos. So once you achieve certification, your logos automatically appear here once your certificate is uploaded. So you no longer have to email the Sgp office for those logos or search the website. you can just come right here to the impact tracker to access that information. Next, we have our procedures and best practices. So there were some new procedures added, as well as some procedures removed. And one thing you will notice is that, of course, we have our templates, and a new addition is guidance. So again, it just reinforces creating that groundwork for your team to move forward when you are working on different items within the SGP certification. So for all of the new templates or new items that are required, for example, implementing management of change, you will see, of course, we have a template here. So for those, for everybody, this is a newer item. And so you can come here, grab your template. And as you see, in some instances, we do have the guidance available where it's hyperlinked. In others, it's coming soon. So the SGP Technical Committee has been working tirelessly to get this information for everybody. But there was a lot. So we're still working on getting it. And as soon as we have those documents finalized, they will just seamlessly be uploaded here. So know we're working on it, and it will be coming soon. But similar to in the past, this page really functions as it did, where you can just click on this link to get your template. I would always recommend right-clicking actually for the guidance, because this opens it in a new tab, which makes it easier so you can keep your impact tracker right on this page as well. It makes it easier from a navigation standpoint. Once you complete your document, you simply upload it here, and then you have a timestamp of who uploaded it when, as well as the ability to view it and or delete it and upload a new one. Some other changes were in the best management practices. I actually think this is where there were the most changes on this tab. The only item that remains actually is the preventative maintenance program, and then as you see, the other three are new. And of course, we provided templates to keep it simple and straightforward, so you knew what was required to meet this criteria. I think the survey, the employee commute survey, actually is just such a great help, because you don't have to create it from scratch. You can just come here, download it, and then send it out to your team. So now let's go ahead into internal verification, because of course this is where we have the most updates for everybody, because we really wanted to make sure that the annual report and the initial certification report met the new guidelines. So one key thing that you can notice here are some quick and easy labels, so you know what version you're functioning in which report. So anything V3 is the old criteria, anything V4 is the new criteria. One action item that there is for everybody is to update your historical months. We saw through working with the certified facilities that there often was confusion around the year, because SGP certified facilities, it's not perfectly January to December. You could get certified in March, and therefore your report may be due in May, or maybe you function off of a fiscal year rather than an annual year. So we ended up adding a month as well as the year. So it's very clear the performance timeline that each report is covering. When we updated this code, we automatically just set it so it defaults to January. So what you're going to do, if you would like this to be accurate for your historical report, is just come here and change out this month so that it's reflective of your timeline. And you can do that for the historical ones if you so choose, or not. It's really up to you. I just think it keeps things lined up nicer if it matches how your team actually follows the annual report. One other thing you'll notice is that we went ahead and created two V3 reports for you that are for the next two submissions. And these are V3 reports. So if your team chooses to use this extra grace period that SGP is giving you, please use those V3 reports. Do not delete them, but use those moving forward for 2022 and 2023. And so technically you may not even have to do a V4 report until 2024. And so that's really a discussion for your team. You're able, of course, to come here and create your V4 report if you want to kind of compare and contrast the differences, but really I'm going to highlight a lot of those main differences that you'll see as well. And I have to admit, I think it's a real toss-up as to whether you want to stay on V3 or V4 or move to V4, mainly because I think there's a lot of great improvements with the V4.
Right. So Katrina, can I just
report
here a minute? Reminder to
Sure.
everyone, only those facilities that are currently certified or applied prior to January 1, 2022 have the option for V3. Anyone applying after January 1, 2022 will automatically revert to V4.
And for those people being new, you don't have to worry about having the V3. It's really
Correct.
no longer an option. So as you see here, you can only create V4 versions, and that is why we pre-populated those 2 V3 reports on top of your current annual report that everybody's working
Correct.
on.
I just wanted everyone to understand, if they are applying now and they go, "Where's my V3 reports?" They'll understand that the reason is that the Wendy Naden, our SGP lead auditor, has indicated that anyone that applies after January 1 of 2022 will automatically be certified to version 4.
Thank you, Marcy. And please jump in if people are asking other pertinent questions as I move through this. So similar to before, you'll want to come here and enter your month and year of your reporting period. As you see, this month feature is new. This facility follows a year of March to February. So that's what we've selected here. So it automatically puts the date range for that annual report once I put in the start month and year. And now I'm just going to go through the changes. The reason why I picked the annual report is because anything that's in the annual report is reflected in the initial certification report. The initial certification report is just simplified. So it's just a simpler version of what we have here. All right. So one thing, of course, that we did is continue to support your efforts around applying information where you need it, when you need it. So one big update we did was include the guidance documents that support each section. So here you can see we have the sustainability policy guidance. So you can click on that, read about what the policy should include, how your team should put that together, and then you're able to really drive an effective policy, upload it here, and then fill out the required documents. So where applicable, we included guidance where it was necessary. And of course, we updated. The technical committee did a lot of work here. Updated all of the templates. So if there were changes in the criteria, we actually made those updates to the template. So now if you use these templates, it will make sure you align with the criteria. So come in here, customize them, and then upload them once complete. So then in terms of major updates, pulling up my list here, we have added a new section around labor law and employment standard acknowledgements. So this will be handy. And again, this is completely new for the V4 section. Next, one of our big changes, and this is one of those things where I have to admit, I'm not sure which way would be better to move forward, V4 or V3 in these annual reports, because we did a really great job moving information so it's applicable to the specific section. And one of the big areas that changed and was improved, I feel, is the air emissions assessment. And I know it looks a lot more complicated now, but that's only because we moved things that were in sections that didn't really apply all here. So everything that has to do with your VOC and HAP emissions, it's all here. So your list of your chemicals, the assessment, the audit, as well as your emission logs. And so all of this information is all in this one section. So all things VOC HAPs is in your air emissions assessment.
Right. And just to reiterate what Katrina mentioned, This is not new information.
Nope.
This is
We just moved
information that you provided under, it was under Sustainability Metrics Part 2.
Yep.
The technical committee just recommended that it really, and it flowed better from the air emissions assessment guidance, and it was information that was necessary for you all to take a look at your air emission assessment. And so the information was just relocated up to this section. But it needs to be stressed that this is not new information that the program is asking for at this point. This is just a reorganization of existing data points.
Yep. So nothing new, it just makes a lot more sense where we put things now. The real main new thing, of course, is the waste audit. And as usual, you can come here and get the waste audit template, and the guidance is coming soon. And again, I have to stress in terms of when you're trying to figure out which version to use, this is one thing I think no matter what will help your organization and improve when it comes to sustainable operations, performing the waste audit. So that's, I think, probably one of the key things to discuss internally. But here, the key points is that you have your template and that this is due basically every other year unless equipment and materials change. Next, we have our sustainability metrics. As Marcy mentioned, because we organized information differently, we actually removed Sustainability Metrics Part 1 and Part 2. Part 2 basically got dissolved and moved into the appropriate sections. And now we just have sustainability metrics. And that's it. One thing that we did add is refrigerants. So now you actually can fill out your refrigerants right in this template, or you can enter it in the impact tracker. And so this means now that the impact tracker has refrigerants in the Scope 1 GHGs. So the other item is that the Sustainability Metrics Part 2 is no longer there. And I believe those are all the changes in the annual report. So one other thing to show is, of course, your additional resources. And this is the SGP resource library. We would be happy to hear people's input in terms of other materials that you think could be helpful here. But as you see right now, we've really focused on SGP specific around the criteria, procedures for significant violations, and then the logo guidelines, as well as the link to the YouTube channel. So all in all, as you see, not too many changes, but I think some really great improvements. So I guess now we can go ahead and go through some questions.
Well, I'm asking. They're a very silent bunch. I can't believe that they don't have any questions on information included. But I do want to stress again that the V4 criteria, it does obviously depend on your application date. But the SMS, the Sustainability Management System requirements that Katrina outlined in procedures and best practices, then you do have to realize that those are the procedures that are going to be requested for everyone, including those right now going through recertification. Well, if you have a contractor and you're going through recertification, we're hoping that you downloaded all of your old documents. So once we have a conversation with the lead auditor about how to move forward, we've been dealing with that right now on a case-by-case basis. But I will say that numerous emails went out, and hopefully everyone was able to download their documents if they are already in the system. We will add a link to the, we have a thing a question or a statement that says we should add a link to your intro video into the resource library. Katrina, that's a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually will want to update the video as well to make sure it includes these changes, but we can do that for sure.
Yep, that would be a great idea. Good suggestion. Anyone else? It's going to be a short program. I feel like I've been living this for so long, I really don't have any comments to offer. So we cannot keep both versions open. We only have the version 4, which is on the impact tracker. Version 3 was created, the annual reports were created for those that are currently certified and going through the certification system for the next couple of years, as well as the applicants that have applied prior to the adoption of the version 4 criteria. But we cannot keep both versions live on the impact tracker, which is why we encouraged companies to download their documents. Now, the good news is Green to Sustainable does not delete anything. So if you are looking for documents and you can't find them, and this is to the certified community or to the applicants that have started working, I would encourage you to go ahead and contact Green to Sustainable. We have someone that's congratulating us on, what we've done. Yay, Sgp Technical Committee. And again, if you do have any questions as you're going through, it's a great opportunity to interact with the technical committee as well as to interact with Green to Sustainable. I know that they are willing and able to answer your question. Any other input? Our goal was to provide an additional section on best practice of sharing of marketing the sustainability metrics. Yes, I do think one of the issues and one of the things that we've looked at from the Sgp Technical Committee is how to provide information to the community on how to best engage and use their engagement display. That is an element that is maintained in the current tracker, and we encourage everybody to take a look at it and to go ahead and personalize it for your own use. But obviously the statistics are your own, but you can also add slides to really highlight what you've done within your facility. So I do think that that's a really great idea to have a deep dive program, Katrina, on the use of the engagement display.
I agree, Marcy. And also I feel the engagement display helps meet some of the criteria, particularly around communication and communicating with your stakeholders. So again, it just reinforces your efforts towards achieving certification.
Right. So we have a question about reviewing the templates to see if they align with their current quality management system. You can reach out to the technical committee or to myself, mkinter@printing.org, to see if we can share a template or two because they are specific for the Sgp community. I can tell you that we have had quite a few printers that have quality management systems that have aligned their quality management systems with Sgp certification. So if you would like to talk to a printer that has indeed gone through that process, we'd be happy to connect you. One of the nice things about the Sgp certified community is their willingness to share and mentor other organizations as they move through this process. So please feel free to reach out to us. My direct email is mkinter, K-I-N-T-E-R, @printing.org. Any other questions? Your internal verification has only V3. Am I able to swap V3 to V4 for this year? Recertifications in September. I think they can swap, can't they, Katrina?
Yes, you can. So you would have to manually move some of your documents. So what that would look like is if you are in your impact tracker and you've already started on your V3 annual report, anything you have in this annual report would have to be manually moved into your V4. But if you would like to add the V4, similar to as you have in the past, you just come here, say, pick which version of the report you want, and then you say create. And that's how you will add your V4 report. But again, anything you have, if you've uploaded something in your current V3 report, you do have to manually move that because this is just a brand new report.
If you have questions on how to do that, you can go ahead and contact the Sgp Technical Committee, and we'd be happy to put you in touch with someone that can walk you through the process. Any other questions? Do people feel that the V4 of the tracker works? Issues?
And I do want to remind everybody to clear your cache. It's good for the impact tracker, but also it stops websites from tracking what you're doing. That's why sometimes you'll notice those items you may have been looking at continue to show up in ads. That's all through cookies and caches, actually.
Mm-hmm. Good advice. So next slide, Katrina. I think we have enough. We have one. Yes.
Yeah, we do.
So excellent. So I do want everyone to watch out for our deep dive webinars that will be coming. The Sgp Technical Committee is going to be taking a look at elements that were requested at the last during the certification criteria webinar. If you do have any, since we've now gone through the tracker and we've also gone through the certification criteria, if there are any elements that just stick out to you in your mind where you would like a little bit more information, we're looking to do those deep dive webinars, 20-minute presentations, and then 10-minute questions and answers on one specific topic within the Sgp certification criteria. And we will be launching under the Sustainability Academy a new marketing education program. So watch your email inboxes for that. And our new website, the new Sgp website, it should be launched next week or the week after. It is coming soon to you. We're very excited about the website, and it will still include the little button Sgp Impact Tracker so that you can log on directly from the Sgp website. So we do have some exciting news to share with you, and also we encourage you, again, if you have any deep dive webinar programs that you would like us to offer, please send us a note so that we can get those going. As I said, the technical committee is going to start meeting on that in the near future. So with that, are there any more questions? Last call for questions. Okay, no more questions. I believe now we will give you back some time. And as always, if you have any issues or comments or suggestions regarding how we can improve our programs, please go ahead and drop us a note. And this recording will be available on the YouTube channel, and a link will be sent out to everyone that registered for this program. Thanks so much for your participation, and we look forward to visiting with you in upcoming webinars.
Thank you, Marcy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.